Good morning, DayBreak. My name is Wagenvoort, and I am the Interim Children's Ministry Coordinator here. Thank you so much for tuning into this Sunday's video. And if some of you are wondering why I'm wearing the same thing as last video, I would say that you were very observant. Here, have some candy. Oh, you don't like candy. Okay, never mind then. Coffee. Would you like some coffee? Oh, you don't drink coffee. Well, then I guess there's no point in hiding it. I am on vacation right now for the next few weeks, and I didn't have time to record videos while I'm on break. So this is all pre-recorded. I hope you enjoy what we have to offer, but don't worry. Owl and I are working really hard to make sure that you get your videos for the few weeks that I'm not here. Just Owl and I working away, being a couple of night owls. Is there anyone else? I don't think anybody else is helping us right now. It's just the two of us. Yeah, no one else needs any credit in this. All right, well, on with today's video. So, just a quick note. I know that you probably loved that sweet rhyme that I gave. I gotta get a beat. Yeah. The past few months we've been quite down, with everything being closed in this here town. So we here at DayBreak asked for some good news, and with the help of our YouTube views, I got great info that gave me an idea to spout this out, like verbal diarrhea. But since this is all pre-recorded, I won't be able to do that for this and next week's video. But if you want me to give a sweet rap one more time, then why don't you send some good news over to office@daybreakairdrie.com and I can throw it into the next video when I'm back. Okay. Now, on with the story. Now for today's story, we're looking at Matthew 18, verses 21 to 35. All about the parable of the servant.
As a reminder, a parable is a story with an even greater meaning.
Now one day, the disciples were talking to one another. Jesus was hanging out when Peter asks Jesus, "Teacher, how many times should I forgive someone who, when they sin against me?" And Peter is wondering how many times he should forgive someone when they do something that hurts him in some way. Peter goes on to say 7 times? But, hey Owl, why did Peter say 7 times?
Well, the Jewish people at that time considered it standard to show forgiveness 3 times. So, Peter thought he was going above and beyond that. Whew.
Huh. Thanks, Owl. Well, Jesus took it another step. "Peter," Jesus said, "you don't forgive someone just 7 times. Try 70 times 7. And then he shared with them this parable. Take it away, Owl.
Here we go. One day, a master called his servants in, so he could get from his servants what they owed him. And one of those servants owed the king a great sum of gold, 10,000 bags of it to be exact. Upon hearing this, the king ordered this servant and this servant's wife and children to be sold. The servant begged the king to forgive him, saying he would pay off the debt if he was given the time. Hearing his plea, the king forgave him. More than that, the king cancelled the debt the servant owed and let him go. Sadly, that servant went out and found a fellow servant that owed him money, about 100 silver coins. The servant began attacking the other that owed him, demanding his money back. The other servant begged for forgiveness, saying he would pay back the money he was owed. But the servant refused to listen and threw him in prison until he could give back the money. The other servants all saw this and went to tell the master what had happened. The master called in this servant. "You wicked servant! I forgave you your debt because you begged me. Why don't you show your fellow servant that same mercy that I showed you?" The master then handed the servant over to the jailers until he could pay back what was owed.
Jesus tells us that this is something that'll happen if we aren't able to forgive each other when someone hurts us in some way, shape, or form. Now, this might sound like a really big thing, but when we hurt God, when we sin against God, and we ask for forgiveness, no matter how big or how bad, God will forgive us if we ask his forgiveness. So, if God's able to forgive our big mistakes when we ask for his forgiveness, maybe we should be able to forgive others' mistakes when they ask us for forgiveness. Because nothing we do is enough to pay the debt that we owe God and to take away God's punishment for our sins. There's nothing we can do. But Jesus came and he died on the cross to pay for our sins. And he took that punishment that we deserved. And when we trust in Jesus, God forgives us of our sins completely. That 10,000 bags of gold debt that the servant owed the master, it's forgiven. And we can forgive others because God forgave us for something even greater. I hope you enjoyed this story. thank you so much for sticking with us and, yeah, being with us on this adventure. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next Sunday. Pastor Tim is back with his video at 10:30, so stay tuned for that. And above all, have a great Sunday. Thank you for being here with us.